Hello, and welcome. I'm Joy, and tonight, I'll be your guide, your companion, your pilot on this journey. Tonight, you won't just listen to English. You'll begin to think in it, feel it, and understand it naturally. This way of learning is different. You don't need to memorize rules. You don't need to translate in your head. You don't need to feel pressure. Instead, you simply listen. And let your mind absorb the rhythm, the meaning, the feeling of English. And as you relax, something powerful begins to happen. Your brain starts building connections quietly. Words begin to feel familiar, sentences begin to flow more easily. So take a slow breath, let your body relax, and allow your mind to become calm and open. There's nothing you need to do, just listen gently. And as we move through conversations, places, and moments together, you'll notice your confidence growing, naturally, without effort. English will begin to feel comfortable, clear, like a part of your own inner voice. So sit back, relax, and let the journey begin. The morning is still quiet, not fully awake yet, and the sky holds a soft, early light that feels gentle on your eyes. You stand in an open field, wide and peaceful, with the faint sound of grass moving under a light breeze. The air feels cool, fresh, and clean, like the start of something new. For a moment, you simply breathe, slow and easy, letting the calm settle inside you. In the distance, you see it. A large, colorful hot air balloon, resting gently on the ground, its fabric slowly filling with air, rising a little more with each passing second. It moves softly, almost like it is waking up. You might say quietly, "It's beautiful." Try that. It's beautiful. Yes, soft words for a soft moment. A few people stand nearby, speaking in low voices, their movements slow and relaxed, as if they don't want to disturb the quiet of the morning. A person walks toward you with a friendly smile. "Good morning," they say gently. "Good morning." You hear it clearly, and it feels easy to respond. You can say, "Good morning." Try that. Good morning. Yes, simple, natural calm. They gesture toward the balloon. "We'll be ready soon." Ready soon. You understand, not now, but in a little while. You nod slightly, feeling a small sense of anticipation. A quiet excitement building inside you. Notice that feeling. Excited, a soft kind of happy energy about what's coming. You can say it quietly, "I feel excited." Or maybe, "I think I feel excited." Yes, both feel right. You take a few slow steps forward, your eyes moving over the balloon as it grows taller, fuller, more alive. The colors are bright, red, yellow, blue, glowing softly in the early light. A gentle sound of air fills the space, a low, steady breath as the balloon expands. It's not loud, just present, like a calm rhythm in the background. You stop a few steps away, watching, taking it all in. Take a moment, notice how that feels. There is no rush, no pressure, just this quiet beginning. A voice nearby calls out, "Okay, everyone, we're almost ready." Almost ready. You hear it again, and now it feels familiar. You glance around, a small group of people begins to gather closer, each one moving at their own pace, calm, unhurried. You walk toward them, your steps soft on the grass, your body relaxed. The person from before returns, standing near you again. "Have you done this before?" they ask. "Done this before?" You understand the question. You can respond, "No, this is my first time." Try that. "My first time. Yes." Or maybe, "No, I haven't." That works too, simple and clear. They smile warmly. "You'll love it," they say. You'll love it. You remember that feeling, hearing those words before. A quiet reassurance, something gentle and kind. You can say softly, "I think so. Yes, I think so." The balloon now stands tall, fully open, waiting. The basket below it is steady, strong, ready to hold you. You move a little closer, feeling the moment becoming more real now. A small instruction comes from the guide. Please step into the basket carefully. Step into the basket. You understand, and you follow. One step, then another, your hand lightly touching the side for balance, and you are inside. It feels stable, safe, comfortable. You stand quietly, looking around, noticing the space, the others beside you, the open sky above. The guide steps in as well. Everyone ready? Everyone ready. You feel the question and the moment. You can say quietly, "I'm ready." Try that. "I'm ready." Yes, let it settle. "I think I'm ready now." Good. There is a soft pause, then a gentle sound as the flame rises, a warm burst of air lifting into the balloon above. You feel a slight movement beneath your feet, subtle, almost like the ground is letting go slowly. And then, you rise. Not suddenly, not fast, just a gentle lift, smooth and quiet. The ground begins to move away, slowly, naturally, as if you are floating without effort. You look down, the field becoming smaller, the people below turning into soft shapes. The world feels different from here. Lighter, calmer, wider. The air around you is still, peaceful, carrying a quiet sense of freedom. You might say softly, "We're going up." Try that. "We're going up." Yes, feel the movement in the words. The sun begins to rise higher now, spreading warm light across the sky, soft orange and gold blending gently together. The light touches the balloon, the basket, your face, warm and comforting. Take a slow breath. Notice how that feels. Calm, open, free. You are no longer on the ground. You are floating gently, quietly, into the morning sky. And the journey has just begun. The ground continues to drift farther away, slowly, almost gently letting go of you, while the sky opens wider around you. There is no sudden movement, just a steady rise, smooth and quiet, like floating on air. You keep your hands resting lightly on the edge of the basket, feeling its solid support, while everything else feels soft and open. The field below becomes smaller now, the shapes simpler, colors blending together into a peaceful view. A soft golden light spreads across the land, touching the trees, the small paths, the distant houses that now look tiny and calm. You take it in slowly, without trying to understand everything, just seeing, just feeling. You might say quietly, "It's so quiet." Try that. "It's so quiet." Yes, that's the feeling here. The air is still, the world below feels far away, and the only sound you hear is the gentle flame above you, rising now and then, a soft whoosh that comes and goes. The guide stands nearby, calm and steady, watching the direction of the balloon. They glance at you with a small smile. "How are you feeling? How are you feeling?" You understand the question clearly. You can respond, "I feel good." Try that. I feel good. Or maybe, I feel calm. Yes, both feel right. They nod gently. It's peaceful up here, isn't it? Peaceful. You hear the word again, and now you feel it more deeply. You can answer, yes, it is. Try that. Yes, it is. The balloon continues to rise a little more, then slowly, it begins to level out. Not going higher now, just floating, steady, balanced, as if the air itself is holding you. There is a feeling of stillness, even though you are moving. Moving forward, carried by a gentle wind you cannot see, but can feel in a very soft way. Take a moment, notice how that feels. Moving without effort. Floating without control, but also without worry. You look out across the horizon, where the sky meets the land, a long, endless line of soft color. The sun is now higher, brighter, but still gentle on your eyes. Everything looks peaceful from here. You might say quietly, "This is beautiful." Try that. This is beautiful. Yes, let the words match the feeling. A person beside you shifts slightly and looks down. "Wow, look at that," they say softly. "Look at that." You follow their gaze, noticing a small river below, winding slowly through the land, reflecting the morning light. It moves quietly, just like you, calm and steady. You can respond, "I see it." Try that. "I see it." Yes, simple, clear, connected to the moment. The guide speaks again, their voice calm and easy. "We're moving with the wind now, moving with the wind." You hear it, and you understand you are not choosing the direction, the wind is guiding you. There is something peaceful about that. You don't need to decide, you don't need to control, you just move, naturally. You can say softly, "We're just floating." Try that. Just floating. Yes. A gentle silence follows, not empty, but full of space, full of calm. You notice your breathing, slow, steady, matching the quiet rhythm of everything around you. There is no rush in your body, no tension in your shoulders, just ease. You rest your arms a little more comfortably, shifting your weight slightly as you look in a new direction. In the distance, you see more balloons, small at first, then clearer as you look longer. Different colors, different shapes, all floating gently in the same wide sky. You are not alone up here. You might say quietly, "There are more balloons." Try that. More balloons. Yes. The sight feels almost magical, but also peaceful, like a shared experience without noise or pressure. One balloon drifts a little closer, not too close, just enough to notice the people inside, standing quietly like you, looking out, taking it all in. Someone waves softly from the other balloon. You can wave back, a small, natural movement, simple and human. You might say quietly, "Hello." Try that. "Hello." Even if they don't hear you, the moment still feels real. The guide looks out and speaks gently. "Beautiful morning for this. Beautiful morning." You hear the phrase again, and now it feels familiar, easy to understand. You can respond, "Yes, it's perfect." Try that. "It's perfect." Yes. The balloon moves slowly across the landscape, fields passing beneath you, small roads stretching quietly into the distance, trees standing still in the soft light. Everything feels connected, calm, simple. There is no need to hurry, no need to think ahead. Just this moment, just this view, just this feeling. Take a slow breath. Let it go gently. Notice how your mind feels now. Quiet, clear, open. And inside that calm space, the English you hear, the words you say, they feel easier now. You are not translating. You are not forcing anything. You are just understanding. You can say softly, I understand. Try that. I understand. Yes, you do. The journey continues, slow and steady, carried by the wind, surrounded by sky. And you remain here, floating gently, feeling more comfortable with every passing moment. The balloon drifts a little farther, carried gently by the wind, and the world below begins to change in small, quiet ways. Fields turn into soft patterns, lines and shapes that move slowly beneath you, like a calm painting that never stays still. You shift your gaze, not quickly, just naturally, letting your eyes explore without effort. There is no need to focus on one thing. Everything feels easy to see, easy to understand. A small village appears in the distance, rooftops close together, narrow paths between them, all resting peacefully in the morning light. As you move closer, the details become clearer. A few cars parked quietly, a tree near a house, shadows stretching softly across the ground. You might say quietly, I can see the village. Try that. I can see it. Yes, simple, natural, connected to what you see. The person next to you leans slightly forward, resting their arms on the edge of the basket. It looks so small from here, they say. So small. You hear the phrase, and it makes sense right away. You can respond, yes, everything looks small. Try that. Everything looks small. Good. There is a soft pause, the kind that doesn't feel empty, just calm and shared. Then the guide speaks again, their voice low and relaxed. That's the river we saw earlier. We're getting closer now. Getting closer. You look ahead, and there it is again, the river, wider now, clearer, moving gently through the land. The sunlight touches the surface, creating a soft shimmer, like light dancing quietly on water. You follow it with your eyes, watching how it curves, how it moves, how it continues without stopping. You might say softly, it's beautiful. Try that again. It's beautiful. Yes, let the words feel natural. A light breeze touches your face, cool but gentle, moving past you without force. You notice it, not strong, just present. You can say quietly, I feel the wind. Try that. I feel it. Yes. The guide adjusts something near the center of the basket, their movements slow and practiced. We might go a little lower, they say. A little lower. You hear it, and you understand, not down fast, just slightly closer to the sky slowly. You feel a small shift, a gentle change in height, almost like the balloon is breathing, rising and falling softly. Nothing sudden, just smooth movement, easy to follow. You look down again, and now the details are clearer, the trees larger, the river closer, the village more alive. You can see small movements, maybe a person walking, maybe a car moving slowly along a road. Life is happening down there, quiet and steady, just like up here. You might say softly, I can see people. Try that. I can see them. Yes. The person beside you smiles slightly. They probably see us too, they say. You imagine that, someone looking up, seeing the balloon, watching you drift across the sky. You can respond, maybe they do. Try that. Maybe they do. Yes. There is a gentle connection in that thought, even from far away. The balloon continues forward, now at a slightly lower height, giving you a closer view of everything below. The river passes beneath you, slow and quiet, reflecting the sky above. For a moment, you feel very close to it, not touching, but near, connected somehow. Take a moment, notice how that feels. Close, but still floating, still free. The guide speaks again. Look to your left. You turn your head slowly, following the direction. There, a group of trees stands together, tall and calm, their leaves moving gently in the morning breeze. The light touches them softly, creating shadows that shift and change. You can say quietly, "I see the trees." Try that. "I see them. Yes." The guide continues. "We'll pass over them. Pass over." You hear the phrase, and you understand, moving above, not touching, just floating across. The balloon glides toward the trees, smooth and steady, no sudden movement, just quiet motion. As you pass above them, you look down, seeing the tops of the trees, something you don't usually see from the ground. It feels new, but also simple, easy to take in. You might say softly, "We're above the trees." Try that. Above the trees. Yes. The moment feels special, but not overwhelming, just calm and different. The guide glances at you again. "Doing okay? Doing okay?" You understand, they are asking if you feel good, if everything feels fine. You can answer, "Yes, I'm okay." Try that. "I'm okay." Or maybe, "I feel great." Yes, both feel natural. The balloon rises just a little again, slowly, bringing you back to a higher view, a wider perspective. The village, the river, the trees, all come together again into one calm scene below. You notice how easy it feels now. Listening, understanding, responding. Not thinking too much, just following the moment. You can say softly, "It feels easy." Try that. "It feels easy." Yes. There is a quiet confidence growing, not loud, not strong, but steady, like the way you are floating now. The sky around you feels endless, open, peaceful. And you are right in the middle of it, moving gently forward, carried by the wind. Still exploring, still experiencing. And without noticing it too much, you are becoming more comfortable, more natural, with every word, every moment. The balloon continues forward, steady and calm, and the rhythm of the journey begins to feel familiar now, like something your body understands without thinking. The air feels slightly warmer as the sun rises higher, touching your face more directly, soft and comfortable. You adjust your stance a little, shifting your feet, resting your hands again on the edge of the basket as you look around. There is no tension in your body, just a quiet balance, like you belong here. The guide looks toward the horizon, then back at the group with a gentle smile. "We're going to drift a bit lower again," they say. "A bit lower." You hear it clearly, and now it feels easy to understand without effort. You nod slightly, not even thinking about it, just following the moment. The balloon begins to descend slowly, not down fast, just a soft, steady drop, like the air is guiding you closer to the earth again. As you move lower, the sounds from below begin to appear, faint at first, then a little clearer. A distant dog barking, the soft hum of a car, a voice somewhere far away. You notice the change. You can say quietly, "I can hear things now." Try that. "I can hear them." Yes. The world below feels closer, more alive, more detailed. You pass over a small open area where a few people are standing, looking up, pointing toward the balloon. One of them raises a hand and waves. The guide smiles. They're saying hello, they say softly. Saying hello. You understand immediately. You lift your hand and wave back, a small, natural gesture, easy and human. You might say softly, hello, try that. Hello, yes. Even from above, the connection feels real. A person next to you laughs quietly. They look so excited, they say, so excited. You hear the phrase, and you feel it too, that same kind of light energy. You can respond, yes, they do. Try that. They do. Good. The balloon continues drifting, now passing over a narrow road where a car slows down, the driver looking up through the window. For a moment, everything feels connected, the sky, the ground, the people, all part of the same quiet morning. The guide turns slightly toward you. Would you like to try? They ask gently. Would you like to try? You pause for a second, not sure at first. Then you notice what they are pointing to, the burner control. They mean, would you like to help, to use the flame? There is a small feeling inside you, a mix of curiosity and a little nervousness. Not scared, just unsure, a bit uncertain. You can say softly, maybe a little. Try that. Maybe a little. Yes, that feels honest. The guide nods with encouragement. I'll show you it's easy, they say. It's easy. You hear the reassurance, and it helps. They move closer, standing beside you, showing you where to place your hand. Just hold here and gently press. Hold here, gently press. You listen and follow. Your hand moves slowly, carefully, and you press the control just a little. A soft burst of flame rises above, warm and steady, lighting the air inside the balloon. You feel the response immediately, a slight lift, a gentle upward movement. You did that. You can say quietly, I did it. Try that. I did it. Yes. The guide smiles. Perfect, they say. Perfect. A simple word, but it feels good to hear. You relax your hand, stepping back slightly, letting the guide take over again. The balloon rises just a little, returning to a higher position, smooth and controlled. There is a quiet sense of confidence now, growing inside you, not loud, but steady. You didn't just watch, you participated, you were part of it. You can say softly, that was nice. Try that. That was nice. Yes. The person beside you looks at you with a friendly expression. First time doing that, they ask. First time. You smile slightly. Yes, first time, you say? Try that. First time. Good. They nod. You did well, they say. You did well. Another small moment of encouragement, easy to understand, easy to feel. You can respond, thank you. Try that. Thank you. Yes, simple, natural. The balloon continues its gentle journey, rising and falling slightly, moving forward without effort. Below, the landscape begins to open again, fields stretching wider, the village now behind you, the river curving away into the distance. The sky feels bigger now, brighter, but still calm. You take a slow breath, noticing how different you feel compared to the beginning. More relaxed, more present, more connected. And your English, it feels smoother now. You understand more quickly. You respond more naturally. You can say softly, it feels natural. Try that. It feels natural. Yes. The guide speaks again, their voice steady and calm. We'll start preparing to land in a little while. Preparing to land. You hear it, and you understand, not now, but soon. There is no rush, just a gentle transition coming. You look out one more time across the wide landscape, the soft light, the quiet movement, the peaceful space around you. Take a moment, notice how that feels. You are still floating, still calm, still part of this quiet journey. But something is slowly shifting now. A new part of the experience is beginning. And you are ready for it. The balloon continues forward, steady and calm, but now there is a gentle awareness in the air, a quiet understanding that something is changing. Not ending, just shifting, moving into the next part of the journey. You stand comfortably in the basket, your body relaxed, your mind clear, and everything feels familiar now. The height, the movement, the silence, even the soft bursts of flame above, all of it feels natural to you. The guide looks ahead, scanning the land below with quiet focus. We'll look for a good place to land, they say. A good place to land. You hear it, and you understand immediately, no effort needed. You glance down, noticing the open fields, wide and calm, some closer than others, some more suitable than others. You begin to see like the guide sees, not just looking, but noticing. You can say softly, "That looks like a good place." Try that. A good place. Yes. The guide nods slightly, following the same direction. Maybe let's see, they say. Maybe let's see. A simple phrase, but it carries a feeling of calm decision, no pressure, just observing and choosing. The balloon begins to lower again, slowly, gently, the ground rising toward you at a steady pace. You feel the change, not sudden, just a quiet movement downward, easy to follow. Your hands rest naturally on the edge of the basket, your posture steady, your balance calm. There is no uncertainty now, only quiet confidence. You look around, noticing the others, how relaxed they seem, how comfortable the whole space feels. You might say quietly, "I feel comfortable now." Try that. I feel comfortable. Yes. The person beside you smiles slightly. It's different from the ground, right? They say. Different from the ground. You nod gently. Yes, very different, you respond. Try that. Very different. Good. There is a shared understanding in that moment, something simple but real. The balloon moves a little closer to the ground, the details becoming clearer again. The grass, the texture of the land, the small movements of air across the surface. The guide gives a soft instruction. When we land, bend your knees a little. Bend your knees. You hear it clearly, and you understand what to do. You repeat it softly in your mind, or even out loud. Bend my knees. Try that. Bend my knees. Yes, preparing calmly. The guide continues. It might be a little bumpy, but it will be gentle. A little bumpy. You understand, not perfectly smooth, but not rough, just a small movement. You feel ready. You can say quietly, "I'm ready." Try that. I'm ready. Yes. The balloon lowers further now, the very close, just below you waiting. There is a soft tension in the moment, not stress, just awareness, a gentle focus. The basket touches the ground, lightly at first, then lifts just a little again, then touches once more. A small bounce, just as the guide said. You bend your knees slightly, steady, balanced, following the motion naturally. Then, the movement slows, the basket settles, and you come to a gentle stop. You have landed. There is a quiet pause, a moment where everything feels still again, but different from before. You are back on but you are not the same as when you left it. You might say softly, "We're on the ground." Try that. On the ground. Yes. The guide smiles warmly. "Well done, everyone," they say. "Well done. You understand, you did something, you experienced something, and you did it well." You can respond, "Thank you. Try that. Thank you. Good." The group begins to relax, small movements, quiet smiles, a shared feeling of calm satisfaction. The guide steps out first, then turns and offers a hand to help you step down. You take it, steady and easy, one step out, then onto the ground again. Your feet touch the grass, soft, real, familiar, but now it feels slightly different. You stand there for a moment, noticing the sensation, the weight of your body, the stillness of the ground beneath you. You can say quietly, "It feels different. Try that. It feels different." Yes. The balloon above begins to slowly relax, the air releasing gently, the fabric softening as it lowers back toward the ground. The journey in the sky is ending, but something inside you is still moving, still growing. The person beside you looks at you again. "That was amazing," they say. "Amazing." You smile, and this time, the word comes easily. "Yes, it was amazing," you reply. "Try that. It was amazing." Yes. Notice how natural that felt. No hesitation, no searching, just a clear thought and a simple expression. You look around one more time, the open field, the soft light, the calm morning continuing as if nothing changed, and yet something has. Inside you, there is more confidence now. More ease, more trust in your own voice. You can say softly, "I can speak." Try that. "I can speak." Yes. Or maybe, "I can understand." Try that. "I can understand." Good. The experience is settling inside you, gently, naturally, without force. And as you stand there, calm and present, you realize. You didn't try too hard, you didn't push yourself, you simply experienced. And through that, you learned, quietly, naturally, just like the journey itself. The morning continues, soft and open, and so do you. The field feels quiet again, almost the same as when you first arrived, and yet something inside you has gently changed. You stand there for a moment, not rushing to move, just feeling the ground beneath your feet, steady and real. The air is warmer now, touched by the full light of the morning sun, soft and comforting on your skin. Behind you, the balloon slowly settles, its bright colors folding gently as the air escapes, returning to rest after the journey. You watch it for a moment, noticing how calm everything feels, how natural it is for something to rise and then return. Take a slow breath and let it go. There is no need to think too much, just notice the feeling. You were up there, floating quietly in the sky, and now you are here again, standing on the ground, calm and grounded. You might say softly, "That was peaceful." Try that. "That was peaceful." Yes, let the words settle gently inside you. A small group gathers nearby. Soft conversations begin, light voices sharing simple thoughts. "That was beautiful. I love the view. It felt so calm." You hear these phrases, and they feel familiar now, easy to understand, almost like they are part of your own thoughts. You can join them, naturally, without effort. You might say, I really enjoyed it. Try that. I enjoyed it. Yes, simple, clear, natural. Someone smiles and looks at you. First time, they ask again. You nod, a little more confidently now. Yes, my first time, you say? The words come easily, no hesitation, just a smooth response. They nod back. It's a special experience, they say. Special. You feel that word now, not just understand it, but feel it. You can answer, yes, it is. Try that. Yes, it is. Good. The guide begins to gather a few things, moving calmly, without urgency. Thank you for flying with us, they say warmly. Thank you for flying. You hear it, and you understand the meaning fully. You can respond, thank you. Try that again. Thank you. Yes. A simple exchange, but it feels complete, real, and natural. You take a few slow steps across the field, feeling the grass under your feet, the softness of the morning still around you. There is no rush to leave, no need to move quickly. Just this quiet moment after something meaningful. You look up at the sky one more time, wide and open, the same sky you were just floating in. It feels different now, more familiar, more connected. You can say softly, I was there. Try that. I was there. Yes. For a moment, you let that feeling stay. A quiet sense of experience, of having done something new, something calm, something real. And as you stand here, you begin to notice something else. Your English feels different too. Not perfect, not complete, but easier, softer, more natural. You didn't force it. You didn't study it. You simply lived through it. You can say quietly, it feels easy now. Try that. It feels easy. Yes. The words come without effort. The understanding comes without pressure. And your mind feels open, calm, ready. Take another slow breath. Let your shoulders relax. Notice how your body feels, light, steady, at ease. There is nothing more you need to do. You've already done something meaningful. You listened, you experienced, you understood. And slowly, quietly, something inside you has grown. Not in a loud way, but in a calm, steady, lasting way. You begin to walk slowly across the field, each step soft, unhurried, carrying this calm with you. The voices behind you fade gently. The balloon rests quietly, and the morning continues, just as peaceful as before. You are part of it now, not just observing, but connected, present, aware. And your English, it is becoming part of you. Not something separate, not something difficult, but something natural, something you feel, something you use. Just like breathing, just like walking, just like this moment. You can say softly, this feels good. Try that. This feels good. Yes. Let that feeling stay just a little longer. There's no rush to move on. No need to leave this moment too quickly. Just stand here, breathe, and notice. How calm you feel, how clear your mind is, how natural the language has become. And when you're ready, you can carry this feeling with you into your day, into your thoughts, into your next conversation. Because now something has shifted. You are not just learning English, you are living it. This is the orbital English, where we explore and learn English gently and naturally. Take a slow breath and let this calm feeling stay with you a little longer. You've done something meaningful today. You listened, you felt, you learned. And slowly, quietly, your English is becoming a part of you. Thanks for your time. It's been a delight. What should we explore next? Comment, share, and save your insight. Subscribe to Orbital English and keep your thoughts bright.